everyone, welcome to Have You Heard? And today we are doing something quite different. We're doing, where are we going? We're doing The Travelling Wilburys. This is volume 1. The only album, of course, with the 5-piece band before Roy Orbison sadly passed away. What an album this is, and it was a bit of a juggernaut there in the was it the late 80s? I've actually forgotten to look up exactly when it was released. It was the late 80s, wasn't it? I'm so excited to play it, I forgot to do that kind of research. I was doing all kinds of research on the history of the band and who did what and who got things going. And of course the main man who made it all happen was George Harrison. But we'll talk more about that after the song. We're going to be listening to Margarita, which has received no reactions on YouTube. So this is a bona fide why isn't it being reacted to song. It's amazing. This album, I mean, there are loads and loads of reactions, but they're all for Handle with Care and End of the Line, the two big hits. Nobody has gone into any of the other songs. I mean, it's criminal, isn't it? Anyway, gives me a chance to get it off my chest and to have a moan and a groan and to play Margarita, which it appears was written by Tom Petty. And I suppose you can kind of guess it when you get to it. I'd be very keen to see how many of you bought this album. I would imagine quite a few, because, I mean, wow, the heritage of the band. As I say, we'll talk about that a bit later on. Just before we play the music, my quick advert for our Patreon channel, which is up and running, and the 4 tiers of membership. And I've done a bit of a price adjustment, I must be honest with you. Transparency up front. I think I went too high with the prices, and so I've reduced them quite a lot. Also, we have the Buy Me a Coffee, and we have 2 song request options on Buy Me a Coffee, and those prices have been dropped as well. I don't know what I was thinking about when I first set the pricing. I think it's a little bit more realistic now. Yeah, we'll say no more on that. My marketing strategy has been adjusted somewhat. Let's go on with the music. It's The Travelling Wilburys, it's Margarita, and let's just listen to this really, really nice track. I love this. It's my favourite track on the album. Here we go, Margarita.
saw the light. Went to the Big Apple, took a bite. She wrote a long letter on a short piece of paper.
It's a fantastic song. I love it. I love the instrumentation. I mean, the synths. There's not much synth on the album, but there is on this song, and it's so good. Uh, the acoustic guitar, the horns. Oh my goodness me! The guitar leads, and of course, with those five people, the harmonies. Um, of course, travelling Wilburys, George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Bob Dylan, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty. And backing Sideburys, they were called. Jim Keltner on drums, Jim Horn on saxes, and Ray Cooper on percussion. Just a quick aside, I had the absolute pleasure and honour to see Ray Cooper perform live with Elton John in South Africa in the 90s. It was basically a one-man Elton show, plus Ray Cooper on his enormous array of percussion, and it was brilliant. But back to the Wilburys. Only two of them left. Only two of them with us now, Bob and Jeff. But the story about how they all got together is, I mean, it's a long story. I'm going to give you the liner notes very quickly. Bullet points. Jeff Lynne's producing George Harrison's album Cloud 9. They're getting on really well. They're having a good old chat about, wouldn't it be nice to have our own group? Just a special one-off group. Who would you choose? Jeff says, I'd choose Roy Orbison. Who would you choose, George? I'd choose Bob Dylan. Oh, wow. Let's see if we can do that. And of course, George Harrison being George Harrison, quite a well-known figure in the music business. He approaches two legends and says, would you like to join us? And of course they say yes. And then as they're about to go into the studio for the first time, George, who has got quite friendly with Tom Petty, and Tom Petty had got quite bizarrely friendly with Bob Dylan as he supported Bob Dylan on a tour in the 80s. George had to rush back to Tom Petty's house because he left a guitar there, and he picked up the guitar and said to Tom Petty something along the lines of, are you doing anything? And Tom said no. He said, would you like to come and join our band? And Tom said okay, and there you go. So Tom was the fifth member. It certainly appears that George was the manager, the leader, and all the other guys confirmed that. in a very, very friendly way. It was all about them being buddies and getting together and having a bit of a ball. The main criteria was not how many albums you've sold or how many Grammys you've won. The main criteria was that you got along with everybody, that everybody could hang out and have fun together. Can you believe that? At that level of superstardom, this is all they were interested in. Plus, they soon realized they had a shared love of Monty Python. That's incredible. Of course, George, sorry, I'm digressing all over the place here, but I feel in the mood. George was huge buddies with the Monty Python group, having been one of the people who helped finance Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and who completely on his own financed Life of Brian. Nobody else would touch that. Nobody would give the Python group £2 million to do that deal. George said, I'll give it to you. It should be a bit of a laugh. And that was it. They all had a love of Monty Python. So if you look in the liner notes, I mean, there are hilarious liner notes on the album sleeve, and the album notes about it's all about the tribe of the Wilburys. The mystical tribe of the Wilburys. It's written by Michael Palin, one of the Monty Python team, and it's hilarious. Yeah, George and Jeff were the producers, and they would actually audition each particular person to see for each particular song, to work out who would be the best person to write that particular song. It didn't have to be the writer of the song, and for a long time, the whoever wrote the songs, that was all kept rather secret. And I think it only came out when information was released by George Harrison's estate, quite a long time after he died. And that's how it seems to be known that Tom Petty wrote Margarita. But yeah, George would audition everyone, say, right, let's all have a go at this and see who's the best, who suits this song best, which is really good. They all just had a laugh. Apparently, when they first got into the studio, Bob Dylan he's not the elephant in the room, but he is this towering presence, isn't he? And who was it that said it? I can't remember who it was. It might have been George. Said to him, I'm just going to say this now, just to clear the air. You're Bob Dylan. We all know you're Bob Dylan, but we're just going to talk to you and treat you just like any of us. And Bob said, well, that's fine by me, because actually I'm in awe of all of you guys. So that's kind of cool. There we go. That's the very, very potted version of the history of the Travelling Wilburys. Of course, after Roy died, they resisted bringing somebody else in. And as a four-piece, they made Travelling Wilburys Volume 3. And that was the second album, and that was it. They kind of never got into the studio again. I think much to George's disappointment. They all stayed together as friends, but they were never able to get back in to make another album. And George he had huge plans. He wanted to make a series of albums. He wanted to make films and documentaries, because of course his film production company, Handmade Films, was very involved in this. But no, it didn't really happen again. And of course, over the years, Tom died, 2017, wasn't it? Yeah. And George, of course, died in the late 90s. So yeah, it was a really interesting time. I, of course, was in South Africa, so even at the tip of Africa, the traveling Wilburys exploded, and everybody had this album. And of course, they sold, I don't know, 3 million copies in the States. It was platinum in the UK. Never got to number one, but they sold lots and lots of copies. And in South Africa, it was, yeah, you kind of had to have the album. So I have. And what a pleasure to play this song. And what a pleasure to see that nobody's reacting to any of the others apart from the two big hits. So you never know. We might do another one of these, but you must let me know in the comments, of course, your memories of this. Do you have the album? Do you have any other songs that you think we should do? Like and subscribe, please. Like the video. It would be a great help if you could. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. This has been a lot of fun, and I've looked for I've enjoyed just waffling on. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Have You Heard, which will be tomorrow, because we do one every day. But until then, cheers everybody.